Books, Rhymes, and Life.
Hey, what's good, y'all? I'm your man Chad with Books, Rhymes, and Life, and I'm here with my man Big Absoloot. We're just here real quick to tell y'all about Ice Cube's new album, Man Down. It just came out. We listened to it, gave it a good listen. I talked to y'all earlier about it. We're going to talk about a little bit what we thought about this album. I am a big Ice Cube fan. I will say that right from the beginning. I'm always looking forward to his album. So when they come out, I'm ready to listen to them. I listened to this one, and this one didn't quite. It didn't quite get there for me, man. This one, I hate to say it. I do hate to say it, but this one didn't quite get there for me. I liked it at first, but the more I listened to it, the less I liked it. I just don't. There were a couple of bangers on there. There were definitely some, or at least one or two, maybe three that I will ride to for a while. Definitely are on the playlist now. So this album was fine with me, basically, is what I'm saying. That is a stumbling around way to say that I listened to this and I thought, yeah, this album's fine. Absolute. What you think about it, man?
I'm like you, right? I'm a heavy Cube fan. I feel like when we talk about the West, if there's a Mount Rushmore just for the West, Cube is on that easily. Lyrically, Cube has always done his own thing, his own style, but he's kind of been a style bender. He's been able to fit a West Coast dialogue into most things. Having said that, I'm right there with you, but I got there opposite way. So I know when you first listened to the album, right? You were higher on it when you first listened to it, and it kind of came down off of it. I was the opposite. When I first listened to it, I was like, what's happening here? It sounded like Lethal Injection, his album Lethal Injection that came out, I want to say 95, maybe 90, 95, 96-ish, with Bop Gun and some of the other things. Classics, right? But they were classics in 95, 96.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe that's the problem with it, is that it did sound like that.
Yeah, I mean, lyrically it sounds kind of dated, and I don't mean the bars themselves. The songs are fine. The flow, the delivery is still very much cute, but the flow sounds dated. Now, the saving grace for me on a couple of the tracks was the song Facts with JD from the Lynch Mob.
Yes.
The Killer Mike feature.
Yes.
And then of course the Exhibit feature, right? Those were songs where I felt like the Cube we know and love matched the song, right? The deliveries were on time. So the songs were more so on point, in my opinion. And Cube lyrically rose to the occasion a little more. But he stayed very true to the West, 1000%. And so is a good Cube album, right? But if you listen to the podcast previously, I stack all Ice Cube albums up against Death Certificate. So it's either better or worse than Death Certificate. And to me, to date, there just still hasn't been anything better than Death Certificate.
That's one of the pitfalls of being an artist. I mean, you set the standard. Like, we don't have these kind of standards for Future or Blinky Blink or rappers like that. I mean, I don't have that kind of standard for that album when it comes out. I'm sorry, Blink. I'm sorry.
You don't have a hierarchy for Riff Raff? What are you saying?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't have these high standards for them. If they come out with a great album, I am pleasantly surprised.
Right.
So it's a tough standard. If Ice Cube comes out with an album that is just okay by industry standards, I'm a little disappointed in that, because I know that he's capable of being one of the best ever. I mean, he is one of the best ever, but I mean, he's capable of doing that on every album. Like, there's no argument. I agree with you on the Mount Rushmore. I mean, he's working to be able to be on the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. You know, he's working on that. So, but this album there were some times that I forgot the age that he is. And when I consider that, listening to it again, like, that's the part that I agree with you where it sound dated. Like I wanted you to be talking about some things that were a little bit different than what you were talking about in 95 and 96. And
And please
you know,
understand, like, I'm not trying to say the brother didn't do his thing, right? But
right.
we're in a weird time right now, right? Where Rakim just came out with an album. LL Cool J just came out with an album. And they didn't sound dated. I just heard the second track off MC Light's joint that's coming out soon, and
Yes.
they don't sound dated. And
No, it does
so
not.
I don't think like when I heard this, I immediately thought about Lethal Injection. Like I was
Yeah.
like, Bop Gun. Like that's all that just went off in my head was like Bop Gun. And I guess that's what I was expecting from Cube more so than weighing it up against his catalog. I was looking at him the same way I was looking at artists that started kind of when he started that are now dropping new projects that sound real relevant to what's happening now with production and some of the other
Yeah.
things. So yeah, I mean I give it a okay. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had to rank this one, using our old system, I would give this one probably 2.5 shots, man. That's average, 2.5 out of 5. That puts you right in the middle.
Yeah, 2.5 shots is fair. I mean, it's a fair assessment of the project. I will say this in the defense of the album. It may not listen great, but it rides good, if
It
that makes
does.
sense. You see what I'm saying?
The
It
production is super good.
it rides good, right?
All right, that'll do it for us. Books, Rhymes, and Life, y'all.
Books, rhymes, and life.